Hong Kong Island Electrical Election Forum, Part 3. This is now time for giving gifts and free debates. First, number 1 to 4. Please give your gift. My gift is to offer to Miriam Lau 2 $10 notes, altogether $20. Your Deputy Chairman, Tommy Cheung, said $20 to be the minimum wage. You have used a lot of detergent to clean up yourself, but I want you to give an answer. How much should be minimum wage? Thank you. We support $28 minimum wage. The $20 is not our Liberal Party's position. Please don't mislead others. And please don't give me $20. Otherwise, this is bribery. Number 2, Sin Chung Kai's team. We want to give out this national manual to Kwok-hing. You are patriotic. I want to give you this manual so that you will reflect upon ourselves. Whether or not patriotic is equal to loving the Communist Party. Why do you want to have national education in Hong Kong? Kwok-hing, please ask the government to withdraw the brainwashing national education. The Democratic Party is politically incorrect. You said that this is a book of reference material and you said it is not right. Why are you giving it to me? The Democratic Party is wrong. You should take it back. National education, civic education is such that there are still a few years to go. I hope the government, teachers, students, and parents should communicate more closely, and you will be able to do a better job. Thank you. Number 3. This is a candy bar which shows regret and pity. I want to give it to Kwok-hing and FTU. FTU represents the workers' class, but you are in support of the merger of the railway companies. Jobs are reduced and then there is price increase or fare increase. This is not favorable to the workers. The FTU has voted down on the collective negotiation rights. I think you should have this candy bar. Dr. Low, you are wearing black today. Is it true that you are good at smearing people? FTU all along is in support of 3-tier collective negotiation. The merger of the railway companies is in line with public interest, and all the labor unions are in support. So that means I am not smearing you. You are in support of the merger of the railway companies. Number 4, Regina Ip is ill. When she wants to be the CE, she said that Leung will do evil. And she also wanted to be the CS for A. When she cannot get into EXCO, she has broken the rules. Now I want to offer this hat, the official's hat, to her. If she wants to be a government official, she should wear it and look into the mirror. I have worn it before. I haven't said that Leung will do evils. I think you have distorted my remarks. Hong Kong should be ruled by the Hong Kong people. Hong Kong people should be brave enough to stand out. It is better than those who are cowardly. All right, it's now time for free debate. I want to ask Kwok-hing of FTU. Your colleague Leung Fu-wai in 2004 said that he is against the South Island line of MTR. A resolution or a motion was moved. Now in Causeway Bay, Aberdeen, there was serious traffic congestion because of the delay of the South Island line. Should you be held responsible? And for the South Island line, I want to ask for your comments. The Democratic Party is still living in the olden times. FTU supports mass carrier. There should be a very good network line, not only for the Island South. It should also be connected to CHI 1. Number 10, you want to ask? I also want to respond on the fair mechanism of MTR, which can go up and down. We are not happy. MTRC should set up a fair stabilizing fund. That's because the establishment camp back then was not willing to do that, and now the so-called one free ride after 10 rides is deceiving. Number 11. Well, I want to ask all of you, how many of you have done something that can change society without the knowledge of other people, even your family members? Who to respond? Number 3, I have cured each and every patient, and this can change society. Number 12, well, if FTU doesn't want that book, I think you should read it yourself. Yes, there is some biased content, but there are also a lot of facts that the Democratic Party has not read. Democratic Party, your slogan this time is to be rational and practical. I support that definitely. Sin Chung Kai, for this slogan, is it your principle all along of the Democratic Party, or is it true that starting from today you will be rational and practical in the future? You won't be radical as before. In the past, now and in the future, we are rational and practical. But then you are jumping into the sea, and as a result, over 10 firemen spent half a day with you. Is that rational and practical? In the future, if you are going to be like that, we will be worried. Mr. Tsang or President Tsang, I want to remind you, you said that jumping into the sea is not rational, is not practical. Ang Ngao jumped into the sea to protect the Diu Island, and DAB also wanted to support, but is this rational and practical? I haven't seen Ang Ngao saying that he is rational and practical. Sin Chung Kai, you support the listing of LEUNG, and now people have to pay high rent. Many doctors are driven out. Is this practical and rational? How are you going to handle LEUNG? Are you regrettable? Please don't refer to other candidates in other districts. In 2004, there was the fiscal deficit. At that time, there was 130 billion of deficit, and then LEUNG built housing units for people to be housed, and LEUNG should bear social responsibility. After getting back the 70-odd billion, how should it be managed? All private companies should be well managed. Actually, there has been apology made, but there are two major parties who haven't regretted for supporting the listing of LEUNG, Liberal Party and DAB. Up till now, they haven't shown regrets. Sin Chung Kai, will you apologize? The Civic Party in the last electoral said that LEUNG should be bought back, but then there is a lack of support and there was voting by division. 16 FC seats will be pocketed by the establishment camp, so the 9th of September election is critical. If members of the public want a better life, you don't want to see widening wealth gap, you don't want your choice to be deprived, please open your eyes and see which party will express your views. Sin Chung Kai, when I was government official, I apologized. And you should also apologize, Sin Chung Kai. You should not have double standards. Albert Ho represented Democratic Party, but you are a member of the HA. You should apologize. I have done that as well. Undermining public interest is something done by the Civic Party. I want to ask, Civic Party, do you support building the third runway at the airport? The Civic Party is of the view that for the third runway, the government should do an extensive consultation. People in Ma Wan are not happy. They are worried about noise and they are worried about landing and taking off. There is the issue about airspace as well. When there is a lack of rational analysis, we should listen to more views. If the government decides to build the third runway without adequate EIA, will the Civic Party challenge the government and sue the government, or will you adopt practice as in last time, ask an old lady to apply for legal aid? Well, this is a trap for us. There isn't trap if you are correct. The Civic Party has not taken part in any judicial review litigation. Well, we hope that there is development. At the same time, the environment and social impact can be taken into consideration. I want to ask a question about railway. For the Southern Line, we want to see a comprehensive railway network. But now, in the Southern District, some residents objected to it. For the DAB, if we are able to get a certain length, then we should have it. After consensus, the railway line can be perfected. DAB likes infrastructure. You are saying that infrastructural project will benefit the public. Mr. Zhang, well, the Civic Party wants to defend the environment and air quality. They are doing things legally. They help an elderly woman to apply for legal aid to do JR. So please don't mislead people. DAB likes infrastructure, 50 billion, 60 billion, and 100 billion here. And you are saying that the old men and old ladies are suffering. Now there is the OAA. Leung Chun-ying should also support all these. Before Leung Chun-ying was elected, he said that there should be territory-wide retirement protection. There should be 2,200 means-tested OAA. DAB, will you force Leung Chun-ying to put in place a 50 billion seed fund for territory-wide retirement protection? DAB yesterday said a hall should be built. Today, a toilet should be built. What are you going to say? You should not only rely on a loud voice. You are misleading people. I said just now that if the Civic Party is going to stand out to say that the government is against public interest, EIA has not been done, then I will object to the government. If they are going to sue the government, then I will respect them. But now they are not doing that. You said they support the old lady, but they do not admit that that was done by them. So you should not speak for Civic Party. Okay, I want to ask Regina Ip about rule of the law. On the 13th of June, when the national leader was here, the government attacked the protesters with the pepper spray. So is this wrong? Should the government apologize? I was not there, but the police said that many people swore and the ambassadors were embarrassed. So should the government apologize? I think we should watch the video clip. But should the government apologize? This should only be told after watching the video. Let's take a break and continue in the next part.
Welcome back to LEUNG Election Forum. In this session, we're going to invite number 5 to 8 to present their gifts. Dear voters, we're presenting to you our care for the community, our willingness to listen, our passion to serve you, our love for the community, our sincerity, and our dedication to serve Hong Kong Island. We are the strongest team and rely on your vote to continue to serve the community in the coming 4 years. We'll allow your voices to be heard in the council. Please support DAB continuously. Please support number 5, Chung Shu Kan team. Number 6, dear voters, I would like to present to you, as you all know, right now in Hong Kong, there are things that are unfair and reasonable, for example, covering the workers' benefits. There are serious salary arrears for more than 1 month. There should be a 10 times penalty. And secondly, when there is a typhoon number 8, all the workers in Hong Kong, whatever trade they work in, they should enjoy a paid holiday. On top of that, if someone is laid off, if a worker is laid off by the employer, other than the 7-day payment in lieu, if the worker has been working for more than 2 months, there should be 1.5-day compensation and extend the period to 2 years. That is 36 days in total. Number 7, I'm Sid Ho. I would like to present a stone that represents the Labour Party to people in Hong Kong. We are very firm in our position. We are very practical. We adopt the approach from the grassroots people in approaching housing issues and land policies. If you believe in yourself, if you believe in the power of peace, a piece of rock can present life as well. I'm number 8, Regina Ip. I would like to present this knot in the shape of the number 8. We want prosperity and social development and education for the young people. Everyone should have the opportunity to purchase property. And let's put aside our disputes and stop tearing up the community. Let's put aside all our disputes and construct the community together so that we have a better future. Well, there are problems because of injustice. What is democracy? We replace such political disputes with a set of rules that are democratic and fair. 60% of the people will always be the minority, where the FC members will always be the majority. That is tearing up the community. Let's go back to free debate. I have a second question for you. 3 years ago, I put up a slogan which meant whatever, forcing the government to open up free TV licenses. I would like to ask you, if 3 years ago I did not appear, what would you do to force the government to open up the free TV license? Please answer. I'm Hui Ching-on, number 1. I have a question for Civic Party concerning the legal case surrounding Hong Kong-Macau-Zhuhai Bridge. Billions of dollars were lost. Last year, the government handed out 6,000 to every citizen in Hong Kong. Without that court case, everyone could have obtained 8,000 instead. Are you going to apologize to Hong Kong people? Thank you. You always say that you're independent, but actually in 2000 and 2005, we've been supporting the government's proposals. So you are really pro-government, not really independent. This is not a court case for the party alone. What is really wasting money is the $500 million spent on the national education campaign, and people are fighting for political benefits. Actually, we should all be consistent in our words and in our actions. The DAB talks about we should have more fairness and no less integrity. In 2000, LEUNG exercised in amending Prevention of Bribery Ordinance. You voted down the incorporation of the CE under that ordinance. So your action deviates from your words. How can you really live up to your slogan or election platform? Or are you actually supporting corruption? Thank God we have ICAC in Hong Kong. We support a clean government. The time has changed. If we see that the behavioral conduct of the CE is problematic, there should be changes. The ICAC has to act according to the law. If there are amendments to the law voted down by you, the ICAC cannot ride above the law. So we have to stick to our principles in scrutinizing our legislations. We have to protect the integrity in Hong Kong. We don't offer just empty words. We have to do what the Democratic Party has done to protect integrity. So when I enter Legislative Council, I will review the behavior and conduct of our Chief Executive. If there are any problems, then he should be scrutinized. Well, Ms. Sitho, waste your breath. Once Chung Shu-gan deviates from his speech, he cannot offer anything meaningful. Actually, you can just put a pig in his position to run for election. Well, you talk about fighting for democracy, but you don't believe in the voters. You cannot just get people's votes by offering free gifts and free meals. If you think that is the case in Hong Kong, you should give up on universal suffrage. Mr. Tsang, back in 2007, when we scrutinized the POB ordinance, well, do not assume that by incorporating the CE under the ordinance, there would not be any problems. Many government officials have been governed by that ordinance. We still see corruption. I have a question for Lo Wing-lok. I have a question for Ms. Sitho. Back in 2000, when Mr. Malik passed away, many people were very upset. And you talked about participating in the by-election right away. At the end, you were harmonized. And Ms. Chen was presented as the candidate. You could not even protect your right to run for the election. How can you protect the core value of Hong Kong people? The DP wants unity. In an election where there is confrontation, we want to obtain support from all the pan-Democrats. We never place personal interest above public interest. Why didn't you wait until the pan-Democrats harmonized the candidate list? Now you're presenting a different excuse. There should be harmony in the pan-Democratic camp. And then Anson Chan became the candidate. You're conflicting yourself. We will never evade from the questions by the media. Mr. LEUNG's hat presented to me can go back to you. According to a recent survey, you can send the hat to the CP and the DP because they support the government more than our party. I have a question for people power. In your election forum, in your election platform, you talk about saving the children. I admire your courage because many people, especially parents, are worried about you having bad influence on children because of your foul languages. On People's Network, you present so many swear words. And I think you are very proud of this. Well, when it comes to swear words, they are different from colloquial terms. We just say the letter. Maybe you should go back and look at the definition. What is the Liberal Party? What is a Liberal Party? You're just a leftover of the previous British government. Well, when we talk about foul languages, I feel very strongly against that. I have visited your website. Many parents are very concerned about that as well. You are teaching children. And on top of that, members of people power. I'm not just talking about foul language. You're telling people, children, to sleep on the street. You talk about saving the children. How are you going to save them? When you teach younger people, tell them to learn about justice and never learn from the Liberal Party. I am sure parents don't want their children to speak foul language or sleep on the streets. The LP is talking about violence in our languages. The LP actually supports that there should be a lowering of auctioning threshold. You are supporting the real estate developers. Well, you're talking about small flat owners. Actually, 80% or more are small flat owners. We support community development. Well, I have dealt with many such cases of grievance people. Well, I would like to speak while there is still time left. You have not answered my question. Have you ever thought about how to open up free TV licenses? Or are you too afraid to offend this whatever channel because they will stop running programs of your news? What have you done to protect the freedom of press? Can you answer that question? I have a question for Dr. Yok-sing from Democratic Party. This Mak Chai-kong incident is creating a huge hurdle because he has been renting the flat from another government official. And Dr. Yok-sing, when you were still a LESCO member, you hired the relative of Mr. Martin Lee, and he did the same with your relative. And that is a position with a very high level of salary. You have avoided legal sanction and you have evaded LESCO rules. But don't you think that is ethically wrong? Well, thank you for the question referring to hiring our staff. Actually, there are many restrictions by the LESCO and we have to declare many things. Basically, for so many years, while serving as LESCO members, well, first, thank you for your support, Hong Kong people. We have been serving for 17 years, and we have not done anything that violated the laws, and ICAC has not involved us in any cases. Thank you. Of course, you did not violate the law. We're talking about ethical issues. Without the agreement, Mak Chai-kong would not come into so much trouble. If you don't know the law, there will be problems. Thank you. Let's take a break for now and see if there's any further response to question presented by number 11 and continue with the debate.